Hey everybody, I'm Scott Wikle. You're listening to My Kind of Country right here on Fish Creek Radio. My second guest tonight, I just love this lady so much. We've had so many great conversations together, and I just think she is an absolute treasure, both as a human being and as a country music artist. She is the 2019 Texas Country Music Hall of Fame inductee, smash number one Harper Valley PTA, and so many great other hits. And she's got a lot of stuff she's working on, and I'm so glad she's with me tonight so we can talk about some of that stuff. It's an honor to welcome Jeannie C. Riley to My Kind of Country. Jeannie, how are you tonight?
Well, I'm great. Thank you for all that you said about me just then. I don't know that I should say anything more because they already think I'm wonderful after what you said, and I don't want to say anything to keep them from thinking that.
I don't think you're going to change their minds at all after they get a chance to hear you. There's no doubt about that. You got a lot of people that love you. I watch all these Facebook groups about you and all the wonderful things that are said and all these great things, and I just think, yep, that's the way it should be, and it's very well deserved. And I want to.
Thank you. I think the people do know that I love them. I'm definitely a people person.
Well, you certainly are, that's for sure. And I want to congratulate you on your induction into the Texas Country Music Hall of Fame. I think that's fabulous. Looks like you had a lot of fun there, too.
Oh, I did. I had a blast. I had a chance to meet a lot of good folks and to be reunited with friends that came, from various parts of the country. I had one guy that's been a fan who became a friend, then like family, flew in all the way from Newport News, Virginia, just for the induction.
Oh, wow, that's great.
But we had them there from Dallas, Kansas City, Nashville. Well, we had several of our relatives came. But
that's great.
We just had a wonderful time, and I had the blessing and the honor of my favorite traditional country girl singer performing Harper Valley PTA for me, and that's Amber Digby. I figured you knew about that, right?
I sure did. I saw the video on there. I love Amber. I've had her on the show, and I love her music so much, and I think that was just the greatest thing. She did a great job, too.
She did. She stepped out of her image to do Harper Valley PTA, and she even dressed for Harper Valley PTA. But if you hear her doing Harper Valley, you've only heard one side of her, because what she is so well known for is her traditional country music that's put her on the map here in Texas and spreading around the country. She has a style, a delivery somewhat like Loretta Lynn, and I hope I don't have a million people mad at me for saying this, because I have been a Loretta fan ever since I first heard of her. But I honestly think Amber is doing some of Loretta's songs and doing them better than Loretta did.
Amber's fabulous. There's no doubt about it. We've
Oh,
had
no,
her.
I can feel the stones hitting me.
No, I think people understand that context, and it's really great that a younger person like her is carrying on that tradition and running with it. And we play a lot of her music, and I applaud Tracy Pitcox has such a great stable of artists on Heart of Texas Records. I know Amber's one of them, and Justin Trevino, and the list goes on. And I play so much of their. In fact, every once in a while, I kind of end up doing a whole show just playing Heart of Texas music, because I'll tell you what, it is fabulous, fabulous music, and I am so thankful for what they're doing.
Well, I am too. We love Tracy Pitcox, and obviously I do, or I wouldn't have asked him to be the one to present me with my induction to the Texas Country Music Hall of Fame. And he did a marvelous job, and he had to put forth quite an effort to be there for the occasion, because they had just come in. I mean, I think maybe the day before from an Alaskan tour. He had to come from afar to be my presenter.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm sure he was tickled to be there. I know it was an honor for him. And excuse me, I think the world of Tracy. He's just a great person and such such a keeper of the flame for country music.
Oh, he is. and he's been doing it since he was just practically a child. I mean, he was 15 years old when he first got into the business as such. Not just a fan, but I mean involved in the business.
Yeah, yeah. He's
You look at him and you can tell he's still a young man, but he's already put in, let me think, at least 30 years in music business.
Yeah. I think that's wonderful.
Excuse me. He was born with a love for traditional country music.
Amen to that. Amen.
I mean, he has kept it going in Texas. I believe, surely more so than anyone in the industry. Period.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there, and I applaud him for it. He's got that great museum there, and you bet. So, Tracy, if you're listening, we love you, man.
Yeah, we do.
Well,
he knows it, but we'll remind him.
It was something, Jeannie, we didn't talk about the last time that we talked. We talked about Harper Valley, but the Grammy Association put that song in their Hall of Fame this year, and I think that's such a cool thing.
And I didn't even know there was such a thing. Is that new? Is that a new thing?
No, they've been doing it for a long time. Yeah.
Well, I knew it was an honor, but I didn't know it was that much of an honor. But the fact is, I got more response to being inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame than I ever did getting my Grammy to begin with.
Wow.
I knew that was a big deal, but when I was placed in the Grammy Hall of Fame, all over Facebook, through text, anyway, people could get to me, even writing me. Congratulations. Just so many more congratulations than when Harper Valley PTA won me the Grammy. I say Harper Valley PTA won me the Grammy. Harper Valley gave me the ability to win the Grammy because the Grammy wasn't given to Harper Valley as a record. The CMA award I got for Single of the Year, that was for Harper Valley, and my introduction of it to the public. But the Grammy was awarded to me on the basis of the best female vocal performance in country music of that year, which meant more to me than just the record.
Yeah,
they were judging me by my performance, and that was more personal, and I really appreciated that.
You bet.
But I didn't get the reception from the people that I did last year into the Grammy Hall of Fame.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, you can say you won a Grammy for your Grammy, I guess, right?
That's funny. It's true, but I never heard anybody put it like that.
Well, there you go. Well, Jeannie, I know you have been real busy working on a new book, too. How's that coming along for you?
Slowly, because the lady I'm working with lives in Kansas City. And we've gone to Kansas City to work on it there. She and her husband have come here to Brenham. They've got a camper. We got a motorhome, and we've gone and parked out at the lake side by side and worked on it there. But there's just so much to my life to be told. We're kind of like ankle deep in an ocean of my life.
Well, I am looking forward to hearing more about it, and I can't wait to read it. And I know it's gonna be a lot of great stories.
But when you read it, it's gonna read like fiction. And I have to say, if I didn't know me and hadn't lived it, I would think, boy, somebody will make up anything for sensationalism. I would think it was a pack of lies, but it is the absolute truth. The things I have lived through to tell about, it's plumb shocking. It really is.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I know it's going to be a great read, and you make sure to keep me posted when you get it done, man. I can't wait.
Oh, I'll let you know, Scott. God has been so good to turn my lemons into lemonade, and I even wrote a song with that title a number of years ago, but I had a lot more lemonade in my life after I wrote the song. God let me go through so much pain and disappointment, sadness, depression. It got to the point of even agony over the fact that I couldn't make myself get up and get on the floor to play with grandchildren. I would lay on the couch and look at them and long to be able to get into the floor and play with them, but not able to do it because I was so miserable with depression. And I guarantee you, this is no exaggeration, if you were to add up all together at once the depression that I had over a number of years, I would say that I probably spent 20 years of my life bedridden with severe, deep, dark depression.
Wow.
And God he did not cause that. That was not his will. That's not what he asked for his children. But he didn't choose to intervene and take me out of it until I had such a story to tell about it that I could bless the world at large with the fact that he loves us like he does and can deliver us from anything. And that's what this book is all about. It's going to also be a very interesting story about the people that I've worked with, dealt with in the business, been associated with, prayed for, miracles that have come as a result of prayer, just so much interesting stuff. And then it'll be just my life story, being a biography. You know, people will know where I came from, my heritage, about my family before I was even born, and my babyhood, childhood, teenhood, just my whole life. And to me, it's going to be more exciting to write than it was the first book, From Harper Valley to the Mountaintop, because that was a testimonial, and it only dealt with certain portions of my life. But this is going to be my whole life story.
Well, it's got to be a therapeutic thing to do that too, I would think. And I know that country music fans, when you have loyal fans, they bond to the stars that they love, and they become a part of their life in a sense, and they feel connected. And I know that people love to be able to read things like that and feel that connection. And there's been so many artists over the years that have never done a book, and I always I'm always glad that when this happens, because you're getting this all down for history and for people to read for generations to come. And I think that's a wonderful thing.
Well, there's for fans especially. They love somebody. They're very interested in knowing about their lives, more so than their relatives or even their friends. Fans, they want to know things like it would matter to me if I could have known what Merle Haggard's favorite color was. I got to be friends with him, and I could have asked him that, but there was too much better stuff to talk about. But I'm saying fans, they like to know what you like to eat, where you like to go. I know that you know that.
Yeah.
And I think that anybody that ever followed my career and my life in any way will enjoy reading about it. And like I said, I've just got so much to tell. It'll have to be a thick book, either that or 2 books.
Well, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it without a doubt. And there has been another thing we didn't talk about last time. We talked about a lot of stuff, but we didn't cover everything. But there is a new CD release on you, and there's actually a song from that album that's on the independent charts right now, Me and Bobby McGee. And the album is called The Music City Sessions.
Right. Well, I didn't know that this label up in New York had bought up old masters of mine. I've been retired and not doing music, not doing shows for years. But unknown to me at the time, Rewind Records out of New York, they bought up these old masters and renewed the music. Went back into the studio and brought the music more up to date. But of course, they couldn't change my voice. as I wasn't there to do it. And from this CD, they pulled out my version of Me and Bobby McGee, which I recorded back when it was new and very popular. I was very surprised that it would become a hit on the indie charts. The song had been made so popular by Janis Joplin and first of all by others. I didn't figure they would be ready for a re-record of that by another person, but they apparently liked it, because we've had disc jockeys tell us that they had many requests for it, and especially from truck drivers.
Oh yeah, it's the album sounds fantastic. I mean, it sounds like it could have been recorded now. They did such a great job, and these original recordings were used for some programs called the Navy Hoedown radio shows back in the early '70s, and the artists like yourself would go into was a studio that Scotty Moore had in Nashville, and record these sessions specifically for those radio shows, and they were never released to the public. And this wonderful label, Country Rewind Records, has started to issue a bunch of these. They've got one out right now on Carl Smith, and Johnny Russell did a great one on Conway Twitty last year, and of course Jeannie C. Riley's new one. And man, they're fabulous, and you covered some great ground here. You got of course Harper Valley is on here, and Son of a Preacher Man, and Me and Bobby McGee, Backside of Dallas, Girl Most Likely. You did Okie from Muskogee too. I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah, well I was always a Merle Haggard fan, and in fact I was booked to do what they call Honor America Day. We did that about within the last year of the Vietnam War, and it was of course in Washington D.C., and it was Bob Hope's array of artists that he chose for the occasion. There's about 32 or 33 acts that he had on the program, and I was the only country act on there.
Wow.
Of course, they would have wanted me to do Harper Valley PTA. In fact, they did want me to, but they didn't make me. And it being Honor America Day, I chose to do a Merle Haggard song, and I chose When You're Running Down This Country, Man, You're Walking on the Fighting Side of Me.
Yeah.
And, there were dissenters. There were those that were against our very country out in the audience. And some of them got so mad at me singing that song that they turned over one of the, a big vehicle that was holding the cameras. They turned it over in the reflecting waters of the Washington Monument. And, it really caused quite a stir.
Wow.
Merle Haggard and we talked many times after that, and I never thought to tell him about me singing that song on that occasion and how the people had reacted. Most everybody was cheering and, hoorahing and amen in the song, agreeing. But there were a number that just didn't want anything good to be said about America, and they really were mad at me for taking up for our country.
Man, that's an amazing story. Wow, that's something else.
Makes you wonder what they were doing there to start with.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. That's great. I love hearing stories like that. Well, folks, this album, The Music City Sessions, is available at countryrewind.com. And, of course, it's available at Amazon and all the great places we get music. There are 14 fabulous songs on here that they just sound so crisp and clean. And, in fact, we're going to play a bunch of the songs from this project after we talk to Jeannie tonight. So you're going to get a chance to hear some of those tracks.
I have one request, then.
Okay.
I may not get to listen, but there's a song on there that, I'm so critical of what I do that I don't sit around listening to myself. But, and listening to the CD, I just kind of fell in love with That's a No-No.
Oh, yeah. I love that song.
The song that was originally done by Len Anderson.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually liked my cut of it very well. And so I request that one.
Well, you got it. We will play that for sure. You know, Amber Digby did a real good version of that, too, a few years back.
I didn't know that. I thought I had everything she'd ever recorded, but I guess I don't.
Well, by gosh, I'll send that one to you, too, so you'll have it. By gosh. Yeah, that's great. Well, we will definitely play that.
CD player's so happy.
Oh, that's really cool. And folks, please visit Facebook. There are several groups on there that honor Jeannie C. Riley and her music. There's Jeannie C. Riley fans, The Girl Most Likely, and Texan Songbird. There's a lady that lives over in the UK that put that together. Her name is Bethany Foyle, and I know that you're friends with her too, Jeannie.
Right, yes. She's on Facebook all the time, and she's always promoting various artists. Well, she's got 4 that she promotes all the time. It's me, Crystal Gale, Sylvia, and Deborah Allen.
Yeah.
We're her girls.
Well, that's great. Well, I know she loves you, and without a doubt, as we all do. And fabulous stuff. Make sure you get on there, folks. We'll put those links on our Facebook page too, and check out those groups. And we'll also put the link for the countryrewind.com on there too. And you got to check this album out and the other ones they have. All the ones they've released thus far are just absolutely stellar. Jeannie, I don't know if you've ever heard the Conway Twitty one that they did called Timeless, but I'll tell you, it's become my favorite Conway Twitty CD.
No, I haven't heard it.
It is really great. It is really great. They're doing
the stuff I loved by Conway the best was, the Stone country stuff he did. I liked his version of Truck Driving Man. I liked it better than I did some of his bigger hits.
Yeah.
But my favorite by far is Hello, Darling.
Oh yeah. Yep, both those songs are on that collection, and they're unreleased performances. And his daughter Joni worked on the production of it, and her husband sang background harmonies on it, and it just was pristine. I just absolutely love it, and it's pretty hard to top original recordings, but I gotta say they did a great job on these, and I think your versions on this CD are absolutely stellar, and I hope people will pick this up and listen to it.
Oh, I thank you. Well, you mentioned that Son of a Preacher Man is on there. There were songs that were written for me that I was never allowed to do in spite of my request to do them because the producer, who also had his own publishing company, the fact that he couldn't publish them, he wasn't allowed to have the publishing, he refused to let me do them. And so I know I lost a few hits. And one of them was Son of a Preacher Man. It was written specifically for me. But was it Dusty Springfield that ended up a big hit?
Yes.
First hit?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then there was a girl named, she went by Little Peggy Little. In country music, she had a hit on it. But it was meant for me, and it fit what I was doing at the time.
Yeah.
The story songs and with some sass and it was a suggestive song, which I was kind of known for at the time, but I sure resigned from them. A few years later, when I became a Christian, it took away my desire to sing several songs that I had recorded. But anyway, Son of a Preacher Man, that was one of them. Another one that was written for me and hand-delivered to me in the parking lot of my office on 16th Avenue South, right there on Music Road. A guy named Gene Chrysler wrote, "Mr. Walker, it's all over. I don't like the New York Secretary's life." And that story song would have fit me to a T, but it was turned down for the fact that the producer couldn't have the publishing on it. And it went to Billy Joe Spears, who had a big hit on it. And I'm proud she got her a hit and deserved one. But originally it was meant for me. I just didn't get to have it.
Yeah, that's interesting. You love hearing stories like this. Songs that could have been. I saw Mo Bandy was up here and did a show last year, and he does a segment in his show where he plays a medley of songs that for whatever reason, he didn't record, but he was supposed to, and that became big hits forever. Like George Strait and all these other people. So it's really interesting to think of how these songs would have been had the original artist done them.
Well, I can tell you one more. Shel Silverstein wrote a song called "Here in Topeka." That was the name of it, and it was written for me. He wrote it specifically for me, "Here in Topeka." And it was turned down for the same reasons that I've been talking about. And Loretta Lynn came out with it, one of her biggest hits, I guess.
Oh yeah, one's on the way. Yep.
They changed the name to "One's on the Way."
Okay.
Otherwise, it was the very same story.
I'll be darned.
And so I lost out on "Here in Topeka" or "One's on the Way," however you want to look at it. But it made a good hit for her.
Yeah. Well, folks, you get a chance to at least hear "Son of a Preacher Man" on this new collection, so you'll get a chance to hear how Jeannie did it, and certainly did a fantastic job. We'll make sure to include that in the songs that we're going to play here. That's great. Well, I love hearing stuff like that, Jeannie.
Well, I guess it's part of country music history. I guess that makes it interesting.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I got a new batch of stuff I can send to you, and I want to thank you publicly for the wonderful things that you sent to me. I had sent a couple records down, and you were gracious enough to sign them for me, and you sent back some things for my daughter, and all these beautiful pictures, and I was just touched beyond belief, and I want to just thank you publicly for taking the time to do that, and that's the measure of the kind of person that you are.
Oh my goodness! Well, you were so sweet, and your response to me sending those things. I mean, you had been good enough to do a wonderful interview on me. If there's a great interview, it's certainly not just because the artist has talked to you. If you don't know how to conduct a good interview, no artist is going to have a really good interview. And so I felt like, in your kindness to me, I should do a little something extra for you in your package. And I have never seen any two people show such appreciation for anything as you and Merritt did for what I sent you. Honestly, the things you said on Facebook about me, I almost became one of my own fans.
Well, it meant the world to us, and everybody that knows me knows I've been a country music fan all my life. I've done performing, I've been in retail, I've done radio, but country music's always been it for me. And just to be able to talk to people like you that I grew up listening to your music, and be able to get to know you, it's just I kind of have to stop myself sometimes. It's just the nicest thing of all the wonderful people I've gotten to know through music.
You really have got a lot of friends in country music. It's obvious to see. I see on Facebook things you post, things others post, people's reaction to you, and especially when you announced that you were coming back on the air and doing interviews again, people's response, so glad that you were coming back on the air, and they're sincere about it. They wouldn't go on Facebook and say things like that if they weren't serious.
Well, I certainly couldn't do it if I didn't have the wonderful music to play and these great artists and that I'm able to interview. And folks, you can also go to our YouTube channel. I have over 200 interviews archived there, including my first interview with Jeannie C. And you can go back and listen to those anytime, and our future interviews will all be put in there too. So we like to get those out there for people that missed the show. So you can go check all those out. Jeannie, I want to thank you so much for taking time again to do my show. And my gosh, I just can't put it into words, but I think the world of you, and God bless you, and God bless Billy, and I'm sure looking forward to hearing your book, and I hope we can stay in touch and do this again.
Oh, by all means, we really must, and you God bless Billy. Well, when you did that, you God bless me, because we are definitely of one accord, and that's the love of my life, and the Lord did a miracle putting me back with him after 54 years apart. So
wow.
We are so happy. I'm just content to be around the house and do nothing. We love to load up our motorhome, go camping. We just enjoy everything we do.
Good for you. You certainly deserve
it's wonderful to have that kind of peace of mind.
You bet. You bet it is. Good for you. Bless your heart. I love that. Well, folks, we are going to play some songs from this Music City Sessions. CountryRewind.com is the place to go. And we're going to start off with That's a No-No, because that's the one Jeannie wants to hear. So, by gosh, we're going to play it. Jeannie C. Riley, thank you so much again for being on My Kind of Country. I love you so much.
I love you, too. God bless your day. And I say the same thing to all your listeners. Everybody out there listening, I love you, and so does Scott, and so does Fish Creek Radio.
If you want me to love you, that's a no-no. I know you preacher's pet was Susie Crowd, born with a silver spoon in her mouth. Miss Goody Two Shoes and sorority, and I was Little Miss Nothing, and they thought of me as the girl most likely. Yeah, yeah, the girl most likely to wind up in a jail. They judge by the way I look, not the way I am. Well, I guess it's true I look the part, but developing fast was not my fault. Didn't know my sex appeal showed through those made of clothes and run-down shoes. Now the doctor's son is hiding out, and the whole town knows what it's all about, because the evidence is plain. It ain't me, it's Susie James, the girl most likely. Yeah, yeah, the girl most likely. Susie's daddy is on the run, and he sure looks funny with a hot shotgun. Well, the wedding bells can't wait till June. It better be now or else real soon. Susie Jane is in a jail. Hey, listen, that gun go wham, wham, wham. Well, some of that talk is dying down, and there's a lot of most likelies in this town. Just because a house needs a coat of paint, that don't mean a girl is something she ain't. On the backside of Dallas, in a dingy bar on a worn-out stool, she sits, and her trembling hand fumbles for another king-size filter cigarette. She blows a puff of smoke, then settles back and looks across the light blue haze. And from the backside of Dallas, her mind goes drifting back to other days. Meet me in Dallas on June the 23rd, his letter read. On a greyhound to this big town, she came to be with him, just like he said. Then suddenly he left her for reasons that she still don't understand. And on the backside of Dallas, a girl must earn her way as best she can. It's a long way to Dallas for a small town girl in the middle of Tennessee. And a 10th grade education won't get you no kind of job here in Big D. Hunger pains and pride things that just don't go hand in hand for long. And on the backside of Dallas, a hungry small town girl can find Well, this is just